Okay, this is not a Christian movie, but I think it qualifies. So I fell down a rabbit hole. It started because I was looking for a very specific type of camping stove on Amazon. Don't ask why. It involves a 3 a.m. impulsive decision to become a wilderness expert. And the algorithm said, hey, if you like camping stoves, maybe you'd like to know how to murder your neighbors with a dead porcupine when the stock market crashes. And I said, you know what, Amazon? Maybe I would. This is Black Autumn. It sounds like a limited edition Bath and Body Works candle that smells like wood smoke and insecurity, but it is actually a post-apocalyptic saga written by Jeff Kirkham and Jason Ross. Jeff is a former Green Beret. Jason is a leader of enterprise. Together, they run a company called Ready Man, which sells survival gear. This is important context, because reading this book is less like reading a novel and more like being trapped in an elevator with a guy who really, really wants you to know that he has a plan to kill you if the power goes out for more than 4 hours. The genre here is what I like to call prepper fiction. It's a very specific type of story where the world ends, and that's a good thing because it finally gives the main characters an excuse to use all the cool tactical gear they bought on the internet. The main character of this book is named Jeff Kirkham. Yes, the author, Jeff Kirkham, wrote a book where the main hero is named Jeff Kirkham. He didn't even change it to like Jack Hardbody or Steve Steele. It's just Jeff. And Jeff thinks very highly of himself. Jeff could fight eyeball to eyeball with a silverback gorilla. He had no neck, a foot-thick chest, huge arms, and thighs the size of tree trunks. He wrote that about himself. He wrote that he has thighs the size of tree trunks. This isn't a novel, it's a Tinder profile for the end of the world. So, the plot. The book starts with a Black Swan event. Basically, some terrorists put a dirty bomb in Saudi Arabia. Then, because the world economy is apparently made of glass and anxiety, the stock market crashes. Then, just for good measure, a nuke goes off in Los Angeles. But the book isn't really about that. The book is about the Ross Homestead in Utah. This is a compound owned by the other author, Jason Ross. So we have author 1, the muscle, living at the house of author 2, the money. It's a buddy cop movie, but instead of solving crimes, they are judging their neighbors for not having enough dried beans. The first 100 pages are just Jeff and Jason walking around Jason's property, looking at things and explaining why they are better than everyone else. They don't just look at things, they reconnoiter them. They don't just have friends, they have a QRF, or quick reaction force. Now, Jeff Kirkham, the character, not the author, though they are the same person, has a theory about the exact moment society falls apart. It isn't when the bombs drop. It isn't when the president speaks. It is this. When Costco closes in the middle of the day, that'll be our cue that the credit card machines aren't running and we're screwed. Costco. The linchpin of Western civilization is the hot dog combo. According to Jeff, if Costco closes, we're fucked. Not the hospitals, not the fire stations, the bulk warehouse club. The logic here is that we are a weak society, and the moment we can't buy a 50-pound drum of pretzels, we will immediately go apeshit. I love the idea that Jeff is in a foxhole in Afghanistan dreaming not of peace, but of the sample lady giving him a tiny cup of jalapeno dip. It really grounds the character. Now, we have to talk about how this book handles people. Specifically, anyone who isn't a white American prepper male. It's not great, you guys. Let's start with the bad guys. The villains of the book are a gangbanger army. But they aren't just any gangbangers. They are a coalition of Latinos and Paulies. And the book has some very weird biological theories about them. This is a direct quote. Even the roaring noise sounded Latino. He wondered why that was. Why did white people and black people sound different from brown people when it was just a roar of a crowd? The roar sounded Latino? What does that mean? Was the crowd roaring in Spanish? Was the roar wearing a sombrero? The book treats Latino like a Dungeons and Dragons race with specific stat blocks. Later, a character reflects on the Polynesians. Polynesians were the most easygoing race on the planet, right up until the moment they went full barbarian. Full barbarian. It's like the author has never met a human person, only stereotypes from the 1980s action movies. The Latino leader, Francisco, literally renames himself Pancho Villa and decides to create a feudal society because the blood of white Americans had grown thinner each decade. Meanwhile, Francisco thinks the only people in this city who know how to work nowadays are Latinos. It's this weird mix of, I respect their work ethic and I must shoot them all with a machine gun. And then there are the Filipino sailors. At the very beginning of the book, we meet two Filipino men on a boat with a bomb. Do we get their backstory? Their hopes? Their dreams? No. We get their bathroom habits. Here's another quote. Injay and Miguel had settled into a daily routine. Wake up. Defecate off the side of the boat. Make tea. Defecate off the side of the boat. Eat fish. Sleep. They poop off the side of the boat twice in one paragraph. Why? Why is this the detail we needed? Is this tactical poop? Is this a survival strategy? Captain, the enemy is approaching. Quick, deploy the morning constitutional. Finally, we have to talk about Emily. Emily is the daughter of Jason, the rich author. She is a medical student at Johns Hopkins. She is described as exceedingly easy on the eyes. But Emily isn't just a pretty face. She is a value creator. No panty-waist high school boy could hope to match her when it came to shooting. Emily Ross, screwing up millions of years of gender bias. Take that, evolution. Emily's plotline is amazing because it reveals how much money these people have. Jason, her dad, didn't just buy her a plane ticket. He built her an escape pod. He rented a storage unit in Baltimore, filled it with premium survival gear, motorcycles, and, I kid you not, hired a Craigslist Army Ranger to be her boyfriend/bodyguard. He found a ranger on Craigslist. Wanted. Strong man to teach my hot daughter to ride motorcycles and shoot guns. Must bring own bolt cutters. He leaves this stranger a gift in the storage unit. Do you know what it is? A pair of night vision goggles. Thanks for not kidnapping my daughter. Here are some $4,000 military optics. Enjoy the apocalypse. The whole book is like this. It's a fever dream where every woman is a hot nurse or a hot shooter, every minority is a barbarian or a worker, and the scariest thing in the world is the idea that you might have to wait in line at Costco forever. I give it 0 out of 5 stars, but 5 out of 5 oorahs for the sheer audacity of making the Latino roar a plot point. Okay, so after I read this book and wrote this review, I learned something. In the year of our Lord 2024, Black Autumn was adapted into a major motion picture and a television series. It's called Homestead. It's distributed by Angel Studios. You might know them as the people who brought you The Chosen and Sound of Freedom. Basically, if you want a movie that tells you, the world is scary, but God and guns will save you, they're your guys. The movie stars Neil McDonough. You know him. He's the guy who plays the villain in everything. He looks like if a shark became a human and learned to smile. And in this movie, he plays Ian Ross. Notice the name change? In the book, the rich author's self-insert is named Jason Ross. In the movie, it's Ian Ross. And the Green Beret author, Jeff Kirkham, in the movie, he is Jeff Erickson. They changed their names just enough so they can pretend this isn't fan fiction about themselves, but kept them similar enough so they still know it's them. The reviews are fascinating. One critic called it sledgehammer politicking. Another described it as The Last of Us meets Lost in Space meets SEAL Team, which is a combination of words that should trigger a migraine. The plot is the same. A nuke goes off, and everyone runs to Neil McDonough's compound to escape the chaos. But because this is Angel Studios, they have pivoted from hardcore tactical porn to faith-based family apocalypse. So instead of just shooting neighbors for fun, they are shooting neighbors while finding God. And the release strategy is the most confusing thing I've ever seen. It came out as a movie in theaters, but the movie is also a pilot for a TV show. So you watch the movie, and then if you want to know if they survive the winter, you have to subscribe to the Angel Studios app to watch the series. It's a cinematic universe for people who think FEMA is the Antichrist. But the movie is also fine. They haven't confirmed if the dead porcupine scene made it into the movie. But I like to imagine Neil McDonough on set, reading the script, looking at the director and saying, so my motivation here is biological warfare with roadkill? Great, let's do another take. It really is the perfect evolution. First, they sell you the fear in the book. Then they sell you the gear on their website. And finally, they sell you the movie ticket to watch a dramatization of you buying their gear. It is the circle of grift, and it moves us all. I'm going to have to watch this now. aren't I? Ugh. Thanks for watching.